My name is Brandy Wright. I am a board member at Identity Inc.
I'm Donald Stage and I'm a board member with Identity Inc.
Hi, my name's Adrena Gates. I'm a board member of Identity.
I'm Trevor, I'm 15 and I go to Rosinante High School.
I'm Andrew, I'm 17 and I go to Farmington High School.
Identity Inc. is located in the Four Corners area of New Mexico, Farmington, New Mexico. We are right in the center of so many different communities. We have Aztec, New Mexico, Bloomfield, Shiprock, Kirtland, and Shiprock is a reservation area. We also are surrounded by the Apache tribe in Dulce, and then only about 30 to 45 minutes north of Farmington is Durango, Colorado. Bloomfield, Aztec. Aztec is about 15 minutes from the center. Bloomfield is about 20 to 30 minutes from the center. Shiprock is more like 30 minutes from the center. Kirtland is only about 15 minutes from the center. So really, Farmington is just the heart of all of these other different communities.
Population of altogether of about 120,000 people. 115,000 people of those are all crammed in the upper sliver of San Juan County near the Colorado border. And the rest of it's Navajo reservation, and there's only about 5,000 people in the biggest part of the county. We're looking at a population that's pretty evenly divided between white, Hispanic, and Native American. We also get people coming from all over the Four Corners area. We have a lot of people coming from Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. Arizona and Utah tend to be more of the Native American population. Colorado is a combination of different groups.
Farmington is the epitome of lack of queer culture, if that makes sense. You go to like bigger cities or anywhere like west of here, it's like you can be out and be as gay as you want and it's not a problem, but that's not Farmington, and it's better now than it used to be, but it's still very intimidating to be able to kind of be out because of how strong there's a very like high Mormon population, and so like religion is a big thing and politics are a big thing, and so it sucks.
It's scary to be out.
We're a very conservative community, and that tends to lend itself to being anti-LGBT quite often, and in this community that's pretty evident, and offering that safety in that safe zone is really important because it doesn't always feel very safe here. And so we wanted to look at addressing those issues, and we really saw a need for a safe, supportive place for LGBT people in this community, all ages, particularly young people, but I would say we wanted to look at helping older people as well. Anybody that needed resources, anybody that needed a safe place to go and ask the questions that they needed to ask or seek out the help.
When I came out around early last summer, my friend Adrian invited me to the support group downtown.
One of my favorite things that Identity does are the support groups that we offer. And I think that just to be able to offer a space for people to come together with others who are like them and to know that you're not alone in what sometimes feels like a very isolated sort of place in the Four Corners area, to come into Identity Inc. and know that there are people that are like you, there are people that will appreciate everything that is unique about a person is something that is really special.
We have a mental health professional that's actually facilitating that group, and anybody between the ages of 13 and 17 can come and go as they please and get support and get an offer of services and get direction on where to go and what to do, and sometimes just come together and talk about whatever they need to talk about is just really important, I think, and it's become very successful.
If we had another full-time person, maybe that would give them more time to advertise these.
I would love to be able to get the funding to be able to pay one person to be at least a part-time executive director and help coordinate it. Right now we're being run, and this is all volunteer work through our board of directors, which is awesome. But we would like to move to the point where we're doing more governance, and we have some staff that are doing some of the basic work for us. We have people coming forward wanting to do that. We just don't have the funding for it.
The crowd rise portion of the contest, if we were to win that part, we would fund a couple of the support groups that we have right now. We have 2 support groups. One of them is specifically for transgender and gender non-conforming people of all ages. These people would be able to come to our facility, come to our agency and our organization, and just receive more resources, and more specifically to the needs that they have. Evan Yeager is the person who leads the transgender and gender non-conforming support group. We would actually be able to pay him a salary if we were to win that portion of the contest. We have another therapist. Her name is Michelle. She's a family therapist, and she specifically runs a support group for young people, teenagers who identify as LGBTQ, and also allies. And that group varies in size. Sometimes we have only a handful of students, and sometimes the room is full, up to 20 to 30 students, teenagers in that room, who are just working through maybe some issues that they have at home, or just working through how to come out to their families. They also have different sort of hangouts where they come together and just play video games, or they eat dinner together, that sort of stuff. So if we were to win this portion, we would be able to pay these therapists specifically to lead these 2 groups. And then it would open us up to have more support groups in our facility. We could start a support group for women specifically, or men specifically, or parents of LGBT students. The possibilities are endless.
A van would be sweet.
Yeah. Because, especially for kids who, live out of town, like in Bloomfield or Aztec, and, can't get rides from their parents because they don't support what they're doing, or they don't support the group. That would be really cool to, have transportation for people who can't get here and don't come to the support groups and the things like that because they can't. That would be cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems, especially in the teen group, of kids not being able to come because they don't have a ride. And it puts a lot of pressure on other members to go all the way out to pick them up and drive them in, and that can't happen all the time, And so if there's any way that we could get them here and home, that'd be so cool.
To get a van with our logo on it to go get kids, that would be awesome. And go do things with them, whether it be bowling or camping or going to the movie.
We also have HIV and AIDS testing about once every 2 weeks in our center, and we would be able to go and pick up people who need rapid testing done. That's free and confidential at Identity Inc. And so we could go pick somebody up, bring them into the center, and the resources that we have come into our center every couple of weeks to do that testing would be able to provide those services to somebody in the LGBT community.
We would like to be able to provide transportation. We have kids that are struggling to get to our groups who, their parents won't take them, their parents won't be supportive. They need transportation.
Specifically, the grant would fund transportation. We have so many ideas on how transportation would benefit our agency, and just a few of those ideas are picking up young people, students, to come to the support group that we have at Identity Inc. Sometimes there's students whose families don't support them coming to this support group, or maybe they don't even know that they come to this support group because it's not safe for these young people to come out to their families. And so they can't tell them what they're doing because they might become homeless if their families were to know that they are LGBT. So they come to the facility, to our building and to our space, knowing that they're safe, number one, and knowing that we are going to support them because they're not getting any support at home. they can't always get there. So if we had transportation, if we had a van, we would specifically be able to pick up these students and bring them to Identity Inc. for the support group. If we had a van, we could provide food from other agencies where we work very closely with Echo Food Bank and other food banks in the area that provide food to low-income families. And there's definitely people who come into Identity Inc. who are in need of food. And so we work closely with Echo, and so we have food boxes for them. But if we could specifically take those food boxes to somebody who can't get to our building and to our space, they would have food. There's plenty of times where we get emails or we get Facebook messages from people in the community who say, hey, I'm a little bit short on my check. I can't get groceries this week, and I've already been to Echo at the beginning of the month. I don't get paid for another week. Is there any way you guys can help me? And so we have been able to tell them, come into the center, and we have food boxes here. Sometimes they just can't get into the center. And so with a van, with transportation, we would be able to take that food out to them.
We have a very large LGBT community here.
Identity Inc. is the only one of its type that provides any sort of resources or any sort of safe space for anybody in the LGBT community. When somebody comes in through Identity Inc.'s doors, they instantly know that they're safe in that space. They're greeted by friendly faces. They're greeted in a space that says it's very inclusive to anybody in the LGBTQIA community. And they're affirmed in their sexuality, they're affirmed in their gender, and maybe they're not receiving that anywhere else in their life except for identity. And now they have stepped into a whole new world of just who they are and of being accepted as specifically who they are, which is what is so unique and what's so special about Identity Inc.
It's like, I wish I had a place or a group like that when I was in school.